Are you fed up yet? More than 2 years of nonstop, unprecedented maligning by the mainstream media, high-level Obama administration officials, and disappointed, disgruntled, and deranged Democrats of the commander-in-chief as an agent of a foreign government, a Putin puppet, a treasonous dictator, all because they despise the outsider president we put in the Oval Office. Enough already. The system worked, the process is over. No collusion, no obstruction, full cooperation. Enough lives have been damaged, enough reputations ruined, enough families destroyed. They took down people with process crimes having nothing to do with Russia, and they never prosecuted anyone on the campaign or even one American for collusion. And all the while, he remained focused, determined to execute the mission to which he was elected. I ask you, have you ever seen a man face the onslaught of incoming every day, watch as the haters attempted to take down his family, saying they would be indicted any minute, and still forge ahead on America's behalf, our behalf, to make the economy stronger and the country safer? Have you ever seen a man willing to poke the eye of the tiger and not even claim executive privilege? Surrounded by wimps like former Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who hid under his desk, while Barack Obama's Attorney General Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress. But Barack loved his loyal, protective wingman. And I'm not going to dwell on the fact that the real collusion with Russia was with the Bonnie and Clyde of American politics, Bill and Hillary, who sold our uranium to Russia and pocketed a quick $145 million through their trusty charity. Or Barack Obama saying there's no way Russia could hack into the 2016 election. I guess he was wrong. And Barack Obama, as he stood by and watched Russia invade Ukraine and annex Crimea. Or Joe Biden, who insisted the Ukrainian prosecutor be fired in the Ukraine because he was investigating Joe's son, who was doing business in the Ukraine. But the left continues to complain. They don't like the redactions which are required by the Department of Justice. They hate Bill Barr. They will read, reread, reinterpret every word to bring down the man prosecutors, 18 lawyers, 2 years, thousands of subpoenas, hundreds of search warrants, and $35 million could not.
This had been you or me or David Axelrod or anybody except the president, we would have been indicted. And Mueller makes that pretty clear. In fact, I think very clear. So that makes and as of this moment, Donald Trump walks. He walks only because he's president.
But it is important to note that the facts that are now established by this report are damning. Whether they could or should have resulted in the indictment of the president or people around him, they are damning.
I think they can make some sophisticated judgments about their president. It's not pretty. It is an ugly, damning piece of business.
It is not only a sweeping indictment in all but name on obstruction. Obstruction, yep. But it is also a portrait of deeply unacceptable, unethical conduct, unbefitting an American president.
He is unfit to be president of the United States, and anybody who suggests otherwise has not read the report.
Well, I've read the report, and you're wrong. They will seize upon the language that you cannot indict a sitting president, which is simply the law. Yet Mueller comes out and says he cannot exonerate the president of obstruction. There was not sufficient evidence to bring a charge. If there's not sufficient evidence to bring a charge, that should have been the end of it. But no, in a show of political whoremanship, that's what I said, political whoremanship, Mueller left crumbs for Congress. He added he couldn't exonerate Trump to give the Democrats something to work with. Now we're about to get 18 more months of this.
I will fight every day until he is impeached. Impeach 45.
And by the way, folks, prosecutors don't say they can't exonerate. Take that from me. Mueller slamming the guy on his way out was meant to satisfy his unsatisfied client, in this case, the Democrats. And by the way, I've been paneled and presented to many grand juries. You don't come out and say, I didn't indict him, but I couldn't exonerate him. I've never seen that, nor has anyone I've ever worked with. If you don't have evidence to indict, you keep your mouth shut. But apparently Mueller likes seeing the country in turmoil. He likes the chaos. So now, people in the middle say it's over. But the liars, the leakers, and the liberals are not going to stop. They prefer to take down the institution of the presidency and destroy him at every turn, in spite of a rocking economy and the establishment of America as a giant on the world stage again. So, the question: should we all just move on? No, we cannot. There are people at the highest level of our government, going as high possibly as the White House, who chose to change the rules, violate the law, leak information, unmask innocents, seek search warrants on unverified political opposition papers. America cannot afford to simply turn away from crimes that were committed in order to frame the President of the United States. The lies, the dishonesty, the perjury, the fraud, the intimidation, they were weapons used by individuals who blatantly and openly hated the outsider. The Jim Comeys, the Andrew McCabe's, Peter Strzok's, Loretta Lynch's of the world, they need to feel the justice that they tried to impose on an innocent man. They created a blueprint for the presidential coup. Lady Justice doesn't care about party affiliations, colors, gender. Lady Justice cares about corruption. She cares about law and order. Our forefathers did too. That's why our Constitution must be respected. And these people, for their own selfish purposes, worked to prevent Donald Trump from gaining the presidency, and then worked tirelessly as a cabal to make sure he was impeached. We cannot afford to let them walk away unscathed. You can laugh at us, you can laugh at opposing parties, but you cannot laugh at Lady Justice. Bill Barr is a serious guy. He's a no-nonsense, straight shooter who doesn't care what you say or think about him. He is a true warrior, and I believe he will follow through on his mission as the Attorney General, and finally, and at long last, bring justice to the people who really deserve it. And that's my open. Let me know what you think on my Facebook, Twitter, and hashtag Judge Jeanine.